Welcome to the Strong as Fuck podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Santucci, and join us for some strong conversations.
Kenny,
how we doing, pal?
You know what, man? Every day we get stronger and stronger, baby. That's how we do it.
Dude, you look great.
Living in a hotel. Living in a hotel. Hey, who would have thought,
Dude,
unbelievable, right?
I can't believe it.
It is incredibly surreal. Because I think, like, okay, a few more days, another month, I want to go home.
Yeah.
And
you just can't get it.
You put your arms around things, and it's I mean, if I turn the camera around, you see where I'm at. I'm in Santa Monica, right? If I give you a visual, brother,
is there still smoke?
No, there's no more smoke. This is what happens. We're homeless, right? By the way, not a pity party for me. I just want to lay out the deal, right? I mean,
yeah.
We're homeless now, and we're going to move into a high-rise in Century City. Not like New York. It's a different high-rise in New York.
Yeah.
Everybody lives in a high-rise. It's a different kind of vibe. But
yeah,
it's incredibly surreal because, listen, we lost everything, Kenny. And, as you would imagine, the last time that you and I did a Zoom together, man, behind me was all of my stuff from 30 years of the
industry.
Being me, but importantly, it's the some of my sons, right? My son Zach, and I think you met my son Nick, and you met the whole family.
I met the whole family.
And Tracy, my wife, and my youngest guy Luke too. So, I'm a crazy dad, man. I have saved since they were little midgets, man. Every drawing, every handprint, every note. Since they were little babies. That's the thing that hurts the most. Because you can't get that back.
Well, I think the misconception here is that everybody thinks that the Palisades, and I'm being one of them. It's like, those are beautiful homes. Probably the people who own those homes have multiple homes, but the neighbors in the neighborhood better than I do. I mean, how long were you there? And how many of those people do you think have other homes they could escape to?
Well, first of all, it's a great question. And I want to start off by always saying, how much I appreciate you and how proud I am of you, of what you've done and what you do every day, Kenny. I'm not a big social media guy. I think I follow 43 people, and you're one of those 43 people. Oh, man. I love to see what you're doing and what you're building and your message to people, because it's a message of hope every day, and everybody's got their personalities, and you have a great personality. You stay with it and just continue to do what you do.
I appreciate
the question that you asked, man. Listen, I've been in the Palisades for 30 years, right? Been there for 30 years. All my kids grew up in that house, right? My wife and I, Tracy, been married. This is the top of 37 years. I was the honorary mayor of Pacific Palisades. I don't know if you know that or not. From 2013 to 2000, I served 2 terms. So it's an honorary position. So you're not elected, you're selected. And actually, Sugar Ray Leonard was before me, and then I became the mayor. And then Kevin Nealon became. Funny, I got Gary Bettman calling me now from the NHL. I'm going to give him a call. I will talk to you, man. This is what we're doing. But people have been great. I had to tell you, people from all over the country and the world have reached out. Have been so supportive and so nice and sweet during this time. But back to the mayor stuff. So, and after me was Kevin Nealon, from Saturday Night Live, and then Billy Crystal was after that. So, but what I did is, as you know me, I take things seriously. And, when I asked Ray when they said to me, we'd love you to be the honorary mayor, I said, okay, what do you do? And Ray said, Jake, you just ride in the 4th of July parade, man. And you know, you were Santa Claus on the fire truck when you roll through town. I go, serious? That'd be great, man. And of course, when I get installed, it was at the Riviera Country Club, you know, where the Genesis Open is, which is right down the street from my home. Give you an idea, right? Beautiful neighborhood. But I will get to what you said about people who don't have second homes.
Yeah. How many of those people, because it's like you just named a bunch of celebrities, right? And like most people know who a lot of these people are. So you're guessing, I think most people believe that all these people, including yourself, should have a second or third home, you know?
Right. And let me just say this, probably 99% of the people that live in the Palisades don't. Okay. Wow. And about, I don't even know percentages, brother, but the majority of people, you know, you read stuff, and I don't read social media because, listen, man, I've been doing what I've been doing for too long. You know, there are people out there that are going to love you, people out there that are not going to love you.
Yeah.
If you believe the good reviews, you better believe the bad reviews. As a great old friend said to me when I got my first review from a TV show that I did, a short-lived sitcom in 1984 called Shaping Up, with Leslie Nielsen, you know, played a gym owner, and I played I played a flight attendant that never worked. It was and I hung out in the gym, and I got a review that was awful. You know, it was a terrible review, and I was embarrassed. You know, and I asked all my clients, because this was literally 84. And I was training all these people, you know, Spielberg, Harrison Ford, Priscilla Presley, Bette Midler, Warren Beatty, all these people. And I would go to their house and I would say, hey, and I said this specifically, Harrison at the time, I'll never forget, was training him for Temple of Doom. And I said, I said, man, you know, buddy of mine got this really shitty review. Did you ever get a bad review? He goes, Jake, look, first of all, let me tell you something, man. You tell your friend, and he knew he was talking to me. He goes, tell your friend, if you believe the good reviews, you better believe the bad reviews. And I live with that, and I understood it my whole life.
Yeah.
And it's like that in life. You got to put forth what you think is the best, what you do. And in anything that you do, you got to believe in you. You got to look in that mirror and have the confidence and self-esteem to take your shot, because you have thousands, tens of thousands of people that watch and listen to you, but no one's going to be Kenny. No one's going to be Jake. Be your own brand, create your own brand. But that's what we were talking about. 99% of the people don't have a second home, and 99, 89, whatever the percentage is, Kenny, these homes that these folks lost were passed down. Like their parents had the house and they live in the house.
Yeah.
They had no insurance, or the insurance, they got canceled. And I want to say, whatever we take out of this half hour that we talked today, this morning, I beg everybody, make sure you have insurance the best you can. I'm not just talking about your home insurance. I'm talking about your health insurance. You just don't, no one believes your house is going to catch on fire.
But Jake, we just dealt with something pretty serious, especially here in New York, with the life insurance guy getting shot right on the streets.
Yeah.
I think people are fed up with insurance companies. I think people think there needs to be an overhaul of the system, which isn't going to happen anytime soon.
Well, we can talk about around. Listen,
it's like turning around a battleship, but that's where people are at. Like, I think, listen, I want insurance. I pay $800 a month for health insurance that I never use. And like you said, though, you might need it one day. You never know what happens, but
that's why they call it insurance. It's like when you sit down at a poker table or a blackjack table in Vegas, and the dealer shows an ace and he says insurance, right? And you put up half the dough and you end up, the guy never has blackjack, but if he does, you take your money, you just break even. You get your money. So the thing is, look, I don't disagree. Insurance is whatever you want to say about it, man. And I want to make changes. We can talk about that in a few minutes. I'll tell you what has transpired from now. It's been 12 days ago. 12 days feels like I don't even know. But the majority of folks who live in the Palisades aren't wealthy. and they're just beautiful, fine, amazing people that either grew up here or eclectic folks that come from New York or come from Florida or come from wherever and have migrated into this. The great thing about the Palisades, I don't know if you've ever been here or not, but
No, I actually stayed in a house there years ago with some friends who worked for a company called Fit Aid. We rented a house there for the weekend because we were there for the CrossFit games. And he's like, yo, I'm going to rent this sick house in the Pacific Palisades. Let's stay there. I'm like, all right, cool. And it was beautiful home.
Yeah, it's not just about the beautiful home of where it is. It's on the ocean. I mean, I could turn the camera around from this hotel, and I'm literally right by the pier, and I'll give you this. I'll give you the shot in a second because it's very poignant. But the thing about it's a neighborhood, and it reminded me of growing up in New York. And I love neighborhoods. We grew up in a neighborhood.
I think we're as people, we enjoy that close niche group, communal, tribal feel.
Yeah, man. And so anyway, let me sort of cut to this whole thing and tell you exactly how this happened and how I'm sitting here at the Regent Hotel in Santa Monica, the old Lowe's.
And then also give us an idea of like what the last 12 days have been like, because I would expect that most people would want to go back up to their homes. And if you had a safe or anything, like if it's there, or if there's something left, like maybe gather up what you can, like tell us what that situation's like.
Well, I had no idea that 2 Sundays ago, when I put my to-do list together for the week,
as you normally do,
I would have written down house burns down, you're homeless at 66, and make the plan. Now, I'll tell you what, and I'm going to be very straight with you because, I know you, and listen, my life has been about don't quit. You know my story. Don't need to go back to it. But I was this overweight kid. We share a similar story. I had a bad stutter. My dad bought me a set of weights at 13 that changed my life. I was given a poem called Don't Quit when I was cut from my 8th grade basketball team. And that poem changed my life. I trademarked the words Don't Quit in 81 and have lived it and recited that poem. It's a little permaplaque thing that sat on my desk since I'm 14. On Tuesday, January the 7th, I woke up every single morning, got up. I'm in a gym. I have a gym in my home. I train at 3:45 in the morning. I do my 42-minute workout. I eat. I make my East Coast calls. Bam, my wife is there, we're empty nesters. So my daughter lives in London, and my 3 boys, as you know, are living in New York. And we go about a day, gorgeous day. My daughter had flown in from London to surprise Tracy for her birthday, which was going to be Friday. Her birthday's January the 10th. Okay.
Oh, shit.
So it was a great surprise. So the girls are going to go out, get their hair done, whatever they're going to do, go shopping a little bit, have lunch. Yeah. And I had a lunch at 12:30. I get on Sunset Boulevard. It's bumper to bumper traffic. Now, I had seen the fires, right, way in the distance in the mountains. And people were talking. I'm going, it's not a chance in the world this gets to, we have fires here. We have fires.
You have fires there all the time, right?
Fires, earthquakes, and mudslides. That's LA, baby. And we didn't think anything of it. I get onto Sunset Boulevard and it's bumper to bumper. And I called this guy who was pitching me something. And I said, look, I don't know what's going on today. I'm just going to turn around. Let's make a plan for next week. I started getting phone calls. I said, you know what? I better put some stuff away, which I did. I took out our valuables and things like that from a safe, but I wasn't taking my kids like Zach's handprints when he was 4 years old off the wall, right?
Yeah.
I'm collecting things, and I get to my office, and the plaque, Don't Quit, sits on my desk. And I have a duffel bag, Kenny, and I pick up the plaque, and now the skies are black because the smoke is like, I'm going, I get the chills when I tell this. I haven't told it like this, so this is the first time. I pick up the Don't Quit poem, and I literally say, what am I doing? If I put this in my duffel bag, I'm quitting. That means I'm not coming home.
Yeah.
Put it back down. And Tuesday night, thankfully, my daughter, because everybody was running, 130,000 people displaced. Like this. And we get this hotel room. We've been here since the night of the 7th. And I could turn the camera around if I want and show you the Palisades. We watched it burn. And I woke up. I call it a coffin sleep. My wife gets mad at me because when I go to bed, kiss a goodnight, and I'm out, man. I sleep about 3.5 hours a night. And I wake up like, I don't need an alarm clock. I'm just one of those wackos who, this is my life.
Yeah.
Couldn't sleep, man. And at about 3:20, I sit up and I felt this sense of like, we used to have a dog. Our dog passed away. So our family was traumatized. We never got another dog, right?
Yep.
And thankfully, we don't have a pet. It's just me and Tracy and my daughter Morgan here. And I woke up and I was like, I left my house. My house needs me. And my wife was like, relax, it's okay. And I'm going, I got to go there. And we were watching the flames from here, okay?
The scene.
Watching the flames. And that next morning, we had to sneak up. And I saw the house burn. Matter of fact, we snuck up from the back stairs. You heard the Santa Monica stairs? People do exercise on that, right? So we walked back stairs to get on a street called Chautauqua to get to our street. It's smoky. We put on goggles. We have masks on. We have hoods on because the ash and the fire. I mean, this is something out of like a bad movie.
Yeah.
And on Chautauqua, there's a guy in a car from, I think, Telemundo. And I knock on his window and I say, could you give me a ride? He goes, oh, Body by Jake. And I go, yeah. Could you drive me to my house? And he took me and my daughter. And we come up around the block. And here's the crazy thing, that the entire town is obliterated. Yeah. You've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
In my neck of the woods, there are a number of houses that are standing. And I see houses standing. And I'm thinking, I'm feeling a little bit better. And when we bought the house 30 years ago, there's a basketball hoop in the front of the house. And I left it there, right? And I looked up and it was melted. And I pulled up, gone. And it hit you.
Yeah.
I mean, it hit you, man. And my daughter, incredible, Morgan is her name. We're never going to forget this moment for the rest of our lives. Puts her hand on my shoulder. She's sitting in behind me. And says, Daddy, it's okay. And we get out of the car. And I look and I called Tracy. And I said, it's gone. It was so traumatic for the moment,
Yeah.
And once now I've been up there 3 or 4 more times. We were up there yesterday. And I said, I can't wait to just scrape this and begin new. But this is a lesson for everybody and to take it from me, because look, there have been plenty of disasters and catastrophes before what happened here.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty more after. But now I'm a statistic. Now I'm a victim. Now we're someone who says we lost a home in a fire. You're part of a small group in the world. And here's what I learned, man, because the first night was bad. And the next morning was even worse. I had to get back to a routine. I had to get back to what I felt was my normal routine. And that's with training. And, you talk about training. I talk about training my whole career it's not just about building bodies. It's confidence and self-esteem. It's mental health. Man, oh man, it saved me. Because although I've had a gym in my home, I've never seen another person in. When I get up in the morning, I went down, they opened the gym up for me here at the region, at this place called the Region. And I'm telling you, if you come to LA, come to Santa Monica, this place is awesome. I'm not doing a commercial for them, but I am because they're so nice and they've been so sweet. But they opened the gym for me at 4 and I get in and train and I have my routine and I go through my routine and I have a table that I try to set up like what was my desk, and I try to create some normalcy.
Yeah.
That's how you have to get back to get your body and your mind together.
Mhm.
So not only are we going to rebuild the house and the community, you got to rebuild you and what you
So
know
important. It's
and
so important.
right and what you know.
Yeah.
And it's surreal, brother. Like I said in the opening when we're talking, whether you edit it out or not, it's like it's a gorgeous day, man. It's
Yeah.
like people have gone back to their normal day of life. And look, you know it. Everybody watches TV and reads the news, watch sporting events, and you see guys. Sean McVay is a friend of mine from the LA Rams, LA Strong,
Mhm.
and you see all that stuff. And I always used to make comments about it, like, "Oh, that's a nice thing. It shows solidarity and all this stuff." And then I get mad because now I'm a part of this thing,
Mhm.
and you're going, what do you mean LA strong? What the fuck does that mean? Right? We need to band together, not just with a t-shirt, not just with a day of a fundraiser, but we need to help people. A lot of people, look, I've been blessed in my life. We're going to rebuild. We're fine. We have great insurance. There's a lot of people who don't. And not just in the Palisades, but Altadena and in the next disaster. Because this breakdown in this state has been happening over decades. Didn't
Yeah.
just happen with this governor and this mayor.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I did Fox and Friends. Those guys have been great to me. I was one of the first guests on that show back in 1999. Me and Brian Kilmeade have been pals. Brian was my sideline guy when I launched. I created Major League Lacrosse, and he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
my sideline guy in 2000. And he and I have been friends. He's become a big star now. And I always do that show and that network, and they've been great to me. And I was on 3 days after, a bunch of people found out that my house went down. And so you get calls from a lot of people. I was not in the mood to be standing in front of my home, and nor did I want to do it even on Fox and Friends. But I told the story like I'm telling you, but a little tighter. And I basically said, look, man, we need better leadership. I'm excited about the administration coming in. I hope that, that's going to change. I'm not about red or blue. I'm about the red, white, and blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we need to come together because during catastrophes, during crummy stuff, people always come together. But then, like
It
human
starts to
nature,
fade away. Yeah.
3 or 4 days later, 5 days later, it's off the front page.
Well, it's like
And
9/11. We were also gathered together during 9/11, and then it slowly started to fade away. But this, I mean, what one of the things that you said that kind of stuck with me was like you were driving up to the house and that there were some of the houses left. Like how many properties survived and how did they survive?
yeah, I wish I had an answer because if you look at my house,
Yeah.
gone, my neighbor standing, my other neighbor standing across the street, 5 or 6 houses standing. You go down a half a block, 4 houses obliterated. And then everything's fine. But you go into the village, you go into where it's heavily, heavily populated part of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
States, all gone. It looks like a war zone, like
It
Afghanistan.
looks like the end of days. You're like,
It's
how
it.
the, yeah.
I walked it. I drove through it. Interestingly enough, it's going to be interesting to see when Trump comes here today, where he goes and what he does. But I'm very enthusiastic of talking with him, not today, but very soon, about how you rebuild and how you
Yeah.
really do it, where it doesn't take 5 to 10, where it's all red tape, Kenny.
Well, yes, and that's the thing. Like, once you get beyond all the red tape of like, how do we build? What do we build? Now you have to figure out getting contracting teams out there, and
Yeah,
like,
but that's all this. Hey, listen, when this thing happened, we had to find a place to live, right? Now, by the
how
way,
is that? How is that process? Because
listen,
I feel like if 100,000 people are displaced, every hotel in LA is going to be packed.
every hotel, but we didn't want to start at a hotel. I said, I got to get into a house. Remember, right? I'm discombobulated like
Yeah.
everybody is.
Mhm.
I'm giving you one person's point of view here, right?
Yeah.
and I got to get in the house, honey. I'll call my guys. I'll get some equipment in the house. That's all. Working out to me, it's my life. It's my drug. It's everything. That's what makes my heart beat. And that's what gets me, fortunately for me, it's training, and
Yeah.
when I'm training, I'm right, which is why I train 6 days a week, and it puts me in a right zone. We were going to see houses in Santa Monica, in Brentwood, homes that were available a week before or 2 days before at a smaller price. Now, all of a sudden, they've added 30-40% on top of it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Sickening. And on top of that, look, it's just me and Tracy, right? And Morgan was with us, but she doesn't live with us.
Yeah.
There were young families who were walking through the same house with 3 little kids and 2 dogs. And I told Tracy, I said, we can't do this. We can't take a house from a young family who needs this. So we are now, as I said, we're in the hotel, but February 1st, we're going to move into Century City into a high rise. I never thought in a million years.
Yeah.
But I'll say this to you, Kenny. The thing I've learned over the course of, gee whiz, man, it's only been 12 days.
It feels like an eternity, right?
It's an eternity. You can go one of two ways. You can roll up in a ball and die.
Yep.
Or you can shake it off after you go through the emotions, and the emotions come up every every few hours, and say, we don't quit. And we're going to rebuild, and we're going to persevere, because that's what we do. We persevere. And these are well, look, is it a test? Is it adds to another layer of my story and my family story? I mean, my boys who haven't seen it are pretty broken up, but they're getting better. My daughter is amazing. My wife is unbelievable. Thank God for Tracy. I mean, the ability what she does working with insurance companies and stuff, she has just an incredible knack. And we're very blessed. We have a tight family, and like you, man, after meeting your mom and all your relatives, man, it was one of the most fun times I've had in a long time. We'll talk about that another time. But
well, hopefully we'll have you. Hopefully we'll have you back out here, and we could do something. I mean, I'd love to try to see how we can help other people out with this whole situation and what we could do for Strong, because I think your message is so good. I think people don't realize that tragedy is going to happen. It's how strong you are to deal with them, right?
That's it. But it's just like, God forbid, you get sick and you're a person who trains, there's a good chance you're able to deal and get better.
Of course, you're gonna deal with it better.
But that's the big insurance policy. Your life is training. That's the insurance policy you take away from this conversation right now to your tens of thousands of people that listen and watch you and understand. That's the best insurance policy you can give yourself. Yeah, insurance sucks, right? And it's too much, it's too expensive. Don't shortchange yourself there, but never shortchange yourself when it comes to you and your body, what you can control. Because we can't control our destiny, but we can control about who we are and how we are, and getting up in the morning and training, whether that means taking a walk on the beach or taking a walk in the neighborhood or whatever it is for you, banging the iron around, which I've been doing that, my 6 day a week routine. I do 100 rep sets, Kenny. So, I'm
really,
oh yeah. I do my chest and tries, back and buys, shoulders, legs. You know what? I stopped doing legs 100 years ago, man, because
take us through the morning routine. Like, what would you do?
Today was back and buys. So I truly do 100 rep sets. So I stretch. It's a moderate stretch. I get myself warmed up and I jump right in with my abs. I do 700 reps of abs. So I'll do the ball crunches, depending on what's around. My old ab scissor, which the original ab scissor, the one that we did in 95, which we did $200 million in sales.
Holy shit.
Million in sales. The Body by Jake ab scissor was the best product that I had, and the most effective. I got to tell you, upper abs, lower abs, obliques on both sides. It was a sick product. I had the first one in my gym. I have a picture burnt. I can't tell you. It's so that sickened me.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I do 700 reps. I go back and forth on the treadmill. So I'll do 7 minutes on the treadmill and 7 minutes. I got to get 700 reps in 7 minutes. And I do my abs. And then I get back on the tread and then I do my back. So I do 300, 3 exercises, 100 reps an exercise. So I'll do a close pull down, depending on what it is. I'll do, lat pull wide. I'll do pull up, a low pull up, I call it, on the low bar.
Like a horizontal row.
Yeah. And I'll do hundies there, back on the treadie, and then I do my biceps. So whether it's a straight bar, a standing bicep curl, I never do alternating everything. It's a waste of time. Everything you do is this way, right? This way, come up high, come up low. And it's 42 minutes and you're blown away, sweating like a farm animal. And I'm ready for my day.
See, what I try to teach people a lot of times with like programs, I say it's not necessarily the program, it's the consistency at which you do it, right? Because I could show you programs, West Side Barbell, Starting Strength, CrossFit, you name it, like Taibo, anything. If people stick to it, it works.
But here's the thing. But Kenny, you brought up such a beautiful thing, and this is great for everybody. And please listen, everybody is different. You said it. You got to find something that works for you and stay with it. The reason why there's all this stuff out there is because most humans
don't
like to train, and it's boring, and it hurts, and they say, "I can't do it." So they'll jump from. And by the way, Billy Blanks, one of the original guys, a dear friend and a great guy, and I've known him for a long time. Taibo, awesome. Jane Fonda, Richard Simmons, incredible. I mean, I'm talking old school guys now, right? Yep. You're the new school gang, and all the new school guys, they take it from, hey, listen, the basics of Jack LaLanne doing a push-up and all those things. I didn't invent the push-up. I definitely didn't. I was the first guy to do personal fitness training and made it an occupation. But a push-up, a pull-up, and a dip. If you can master those 3 exercises, you kill it in the gym anywhere in the world.
So yesterday we did a shoot for Celsius at this Pilates studio. And then we went to this place called Other Ship. It's like a bathhouse. It's kind of like cold plunge sauna and everything. Anyway,
the bathhouse. You know what, man? You know what? My grandfather used to take me to Sheepshead Bay.
To a bathhouse out there?
In the bathhouse, man.
That's an old school.
Actually, no, man, it was in Manhattan Beach is what it was, man.
So yesterday I'm with all these different Instagram people, right? Like everybody's got 1 million followers, 1 million plus followers. But there was one guy who's a bodybuilder and there was one guy who does calisthenics. And like, I do a little bit of everything, and you had all these different body types. Everybody looks good. Everybody's doing their own thing. And it doesn't really matter. You just need to do what needs to be done. And back to what you said before, it's like, it's just getting up, getting in that routine, doing what you need to do for yourself. Like, I think exercise in the morning is probably the best form of hygiene for everything.
It's honestly, if you can, and a lot of people are not morning people, they're night people, whatever. I do it. And first of all, it's dark. You get up before the world begins, and you got to jump on the day. You got to jump on your competition. You got to jump on everybody, and you're done with it. Cross it off. Take your yellow pad. I'm a yellow pad guy. We talk about that. Listen, the only time I use a computer is when I do Zoom calls. This is what I do, baby. This is it all day long. Or I got this is it. This is my yellow pads. I got yellow pads everywhere, right? But
I do the same thing. This is what I use. I use notebooks.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, but you're not, once it's done in the morning, you're not saying to yourself, I got to train at 4. I can't do it. I got a meeting. Something comes up. And then you go, screw it. Okay, tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, well, it's Thursday. I didn't train. Okay, Monday for sure I start. Think about right now. What is it, January 24? Is that, I don't even know where we are. Is it
January 24th? Yeah.
Jesus, it's 2025 or 2029. What is it? Anyway, but holy shit, Kenny.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, How many people made that resolution? How many people said this year I'm going to get in shape? This is the year I'm starting, right? And watching this Zoom right now, this podcast with you and me, be honest, have you kept to the resolution? When the ball dropped, 2025 illuminated, and you made that, this is the year, I'm going to fill in the blank, eat better, train more, whatever it's going to be. Have you stuck with it? If you have, let me know at Official Body by Jake. Let me know.
So I have a question for you. So I mean, you've been doing this way longer than I have. You've ran into a lot more people. I always say, like, there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, we've done the research and we've done these randomized testing and stuff. But there's guys like us who've been in the game long enough where we have our own research, where we've worked with enough people. You've worked with enough people. What have you seen helps people stick with it?
Finding something that fits into their lifestyle, not someone's lifestyle trying to fit into Kenny's or Jake's or whose ever program. No different than what I just said to you when I opened up, man. I have to get back to my routine.
Yeah.
I need my normalcy.
Yeah.
So you can do something for a short amount of time to shake it up and bake it up. But we're all animals, man. We all have our own, our own routine, our own way of doing everything every day. And that program has to fit into that routine. And when you can do that, what I was pretty good at doing, I had this idea, right? If I'm going to train Kenny Santucci, who's a big movie star, he doesn't want to go to a gym. I don't want him meeting me at the gym. I'm going to go to his house. Now that, by the way, today you're going, oh yeah, duh, right? But in 1981, nobody did it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I came to you. So I took a few things out of the mix there. I knew that you weren't gonna, well, a couple people hid from me. Bette Midler once, I knew she was there, and I was training her for a movie called Down and Out in Beverly Hills. And and I rang the gate, and I knew she was home. And then, because I used to bring the newspaper in for her. Now, this is 1982 now, 83, whatever. And I used to have the paper. I would, they'd open the gate and I'd walk in. And the paper was there, or the paper wasn't there. And I knew she was there. And I finally rang it again. She opened up the window. She goes, God damn it, Jake. I'll pay you double. Get lost, But they knew I was showing up. And I came into their environment. So think about it. When you're trained at your house or somewhere that's comfortable, you're the king or queen of that castle. You don't have to worry about what you're wearing, what your makeup on, what about a boot, nothing like that. You feel comfortable, right? And when you're comfortable, that's when good things happen. And what I did is, I think for any person who calls himself a personal trainer, whatever you want to call these days, the best of the best, it's not about, look, a push-up's a push-up, Kenny.
Yeah.
It's how you know how to motivate someone. And it's all comes from listening. Listen to what the client wants. Listen to what the client needs, right? And then build a program around that. Not, once again, putting your program into their lifestyle, right? Or your into their world. Listen to them to create a program for their lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, that's
how they stick with it.
I built a gym for a celebrity client a couple years back, and I said, "What's the stuff that you like to do? What are all the things that we've done in my gym that we could put into your gym that you want?" He's like, "All right, I want the sled, I want the TRX, I want the turf, I want the rack." And I'm like, "All right, cool. So that's how we'll build your gym off the stuff that you like doing." But now I want to go back to kind of the 80s here, and when you first started doing this, and you've had Bette Midler, you've had Steven Spielberg, you've had Harrison Ford, you've had so many huge names. I know one of your first clients was a big name, but when did you say, "Oh shit, I've arrived. This is it. I've now become this guy"? And like,
honestly, you know what? You know what I thought? I got to tell you something. I always said, if I could get on a cover of a magazine, man,
yeah,
that'd be it. I'll go back to New York a winner. And I'll never forget, there was a magazine called City Sport Magazine. It's an oversized magazine. It's like a new big, kind of like a Rolling Stone, but for sports.
Yeah.
And I
Like an
was
old
on the
school Rolling
cover.
Stone.
I was on the cover of the magazine with oh my God, this girl I was training from Linda Gray from Dallas.
The show Dallas.
Well, Dallas.
Yeah. My mother used to love that show.
Right. And I got it. And I go, all right, how could I turn this into money?
Yeah.
That was the moment where I said, okay, now, because this whole thing, I told the story and, I told a little bit at your conference. The next one, I'll tell the whole story when we have time and we fill the room and you do it right. We'll talk about how to do it right. But, but the thing is that when a publicist came up to me because she was hearing about me at parties and she was saying, everyone's talking about you. And all these big stars, everyone's talking about how many push-ups they've done. I used to do this contest where I go to Spielberg's house, to Harrison Ford's house, any of these people, and I would say, Priscilla Presley did 100 push-ups, right? No way. I would do 105. Let's go. Let's go. And then I would say the next person. And it was this competition. So at dinner parties, they're talking about Body by Jake. Or they're talking about Jake. Because at the time, right, I just started out. The publicist says, what you do? What's the name of your company? And I go, Body by Jake. Truly, there was no business plan. I wish I could tell you. I came out to LA to be the first guy to do personal fitness training and make a business and train big stars and do books and videos and television shows and create television networks and sports leagues. No, I wanted to be Mr. America. That was my goal. Yeah. And here's the thing, Kenny, and I'm going to leave you with this because I got to pop, but I am in a hotel. I'm going to go like this to you. There's the pier. I don't know if you can see it.
It's a pretty beautiful view. Yeah, no, I see it.
All right. That's the pier. And I only show you that because it's so surreal. I get the chills. Summer 1977, I came out here. I left college, upstate New York, and I had this dream to become Mr. America. About 200 yards down from this pier is Muscle Beach. I've been living in the Palisades for 30 years. We drive through the PCH, whether we're going to a Dodger game or a Laker game or going into town. Mm-hmm. And when we come home from the airport, we always say, when we come through the McClure Tunnel, and we see the palm trees and we see the pier, we go, we're home again.
Yeah.
And I haven't stepped foot on this beach in 30 years. And I went out there the third morning because I was looking out the window of what I just showed you. And I saw the monkey bars and I saw the low pull-up and I saw the rings. And I said, we used to do something we called the beach workout when we were at Gold's, and we'd say, oh man, let's go. And we would put my buddy's Volkswagen in neutral. And on a leg day, we pushed the Volkswagen. That was our leg day, right? But we would do pull-ups, push-ups, and dips right there. And I went out there, not at 18 years old, but at 66, and did the workout.
It's awesome.
And it
was life of fitness. Yeah, I love
it. It was amazing. And I just want to say, man, for another time, we'll tell plenty more stories, but you know how much I appreciate you. And I got this shirt. Literally, we have no clothes. We friends have sent, and I could afford to buy my own clothes. But truly, when you say, hey, honey, I got nothing to wear tonight, it's usually you've worn the same thing. I had 2 shirts, a pair of jeans, 2 pair of underwear, a workout shirt and shorts, and 1 pair of sneakers, right? Nike sends me sneakers. I had 100 some pair of sneakers in my garage, gone. And, you were so nice to say, because you gave me at the last time I saw you, man.
Yeah.
Me and my kids, some great, I was wearing the strong New York stuff in the neighborhood. People go, "Oh, I love that." I said, "Holy shit, it's all gone."
Well, don't worry. We got a whole box of shit coming for you guys.
Well, listen, it's great to see you.
Yes, thank you.
And your crew is awesome. And I want to hear how the new place is going in Jersey.
Yeah.
For our next chat. But listen, like I've told you 1,000 times, that poem that I was given when I was cut for that 8th grade basketball team. Stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit.
I love it.
Peace.